What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Casual Highlights, where we strive to educate, inform, and inspire while having casual conversations in sports. Today, I got BS3 Radio royalty, BS3 Radio family, voiceover, Kentucky Wildcats fan, Dallas Cowboy fans, host of Cat Talk Wednesdays on BS3 Network on Roku TV and on the podcast as well. Mr. Vinny Hardy. What's up, Vinny? How you doing today?
Man, Al, I'm good, man. Appreciate being up here in the casual highlight, man. I'm honored to be here. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I like, man. We got the light bulbs up in here, bro. We light bulbs on the run, bro.
They gave a map at the award show, and Ivan done hooked everybody up. I said, I gotta come in here with the casual highlight gear, man. Come on now.
I appreciate it. Doc, we had some breaking news that took place, and we got to get this off. I know we had questions that I gave discussion questions earlier, but we got to talk about this breaking news that took place. Sean Payton has announced retiring from the New Orleans Saints, and there's talks where he was tired, and he had a rough year, the first year without Drew Brees. Do you see him? Because as the Cowboys man over there, I know you're a Wildcats man, but you're also a Cowboys fan. Do you see a scenario where Sean Payton will go to the Dallas Cowboys for compensation?
I mean, am I being objective? I don't know. I want to see that. Now is he needing to recharge batteries? Is he going to take a year off, or is he really wanting to just leave one job and go straight to another? I don't know. He was in Dallas for a long time, under Parcells. So there's history there. Does he want to work for Jerry Jones? I don't know. You hear some saying he's not coming because he don't want to fool with Jerry. And you hear some saying, well, he's tight with Jerry and he knows he can. So I don't know. But selfishly, I wasn't, doing cartwheels when Mike McCarthy got hired initially anyway. This might be crazy, but I was like, if we're going to get a retread, I would have preferred Ron Rivera, who's up there in Washington. If we're going to go that route, I kind of liked him better than McCarthy. McCarthy did win a Super Bowl. I always liked Riverboat Ron over there in Carolina, what he was able to do, even though they are struggling, and that's a lot of Snyder stuff he got to deal with too. But so if he does it, great. I'm like, come on, Sean. So I'm hopeful. Maybe I get my hopes up for nothing, but maybe Sean don't want nothing to do with Dallas, and so be it. But I'm hoping he just slides on over, because you're coming into a ready-made situation pretty much. You got a quarterback. Dak is not Mahomes like you in Kansas City have. He's not, Josh Allen, but he's also, there was a time, I said this in our little chat, everybody was trying to tell us that Carson Wentz and Jared Goff were better than Dak, and we see how that played out. So we let a little time pass, and we see how that played out. Both of them dudes already been traded, if I'm not mistaken. So if you come in and kind of, Phil Jackson came in to ready-made situations with the Bulls and the Lakers, they couldn't get over the hump. He pushed them over. Dallas is a solid squad in the mix in the NFC. Got a good quarterback. You got some good receivers. Zeke is a little struggling, but you got Pollard. You got a good team. Micah Parsons in that defense. Maybe Sean thinks he can come in and just get them where they need to be. So I don't know. That's a long answer, but in a nutshell, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, because I was thinking, okay, Dak's the answer. You got all the weapon pieces, and just Dak got to get it together. And we saw in the playoffs, okay, Dak is more of a upgrade of like an Alex Smith, right in that Carson Wentz area, golf type deal. But I put it to you like this. Peyton, if you're going to make a change, Peyton is the man, is the answer. But you would need to upgrade that at that quarterback position. But you can't do that because you have money tied into Dak Prescott for right now. So I think the run that Sean Payton made, he's still under contract for 3 years. What is the Saints willing to listen to? What offers are they listening to right now? Because right now he's the hottest free agent right now. Matter of fact, he surpasses Eric Bieniemy, Brian Flores, all those particular guys. That Cowboys defense is stout. That Cowboy offense is good. The question is, do you upgrade the quarterback in the draft? If you're an offensive minded coach, what's the situation with McCarthy? Are you going to drag this decision out with McCarthy till after the Super Bowl? You got to look at all that type of stuff. But go ahead, man.
I mean, yeah, Dak is, he's still top third in the league, top half of the league. Is coaches love a challenge. They have egos. They think they can come in and fix this guy. They think they can come in and tinker and do this. They confident in his ability, and because Dak might not be what he wants, but he's also an upgrade over Taysom Hill and Jameis from what he just left. So if you look at it that way, and the defense says after last year, you better address the defense because it was historically bad. So a lot of draft picks went to the defense. Dan Quinn got a lot of defensive talent in. Kind of got to address that offensive line now too because Tyron Smith love him, but he's got some tread on his tires. Zach Martin is good. We was talking about this with Ivan on Cast Talk Wednesday last week. But the offensive line itself, that Cowboys offensive line isn't what we were accustomed to when you think of that offensive line. They got punked against the 49ers. Got stoned. Couldn't move the ball for nothing. Dak under pressure. So I say address that O-line. You got some good tight ends. You got some good receivers. Try to keep Pollard, give him some money because I don't know, maybe go running back by committee again. But address that O-line. The defense is a lot better, much improved, and maybe get a couple of D linemen in to, tighten up against the run. But fix the O-line, and if he wants to come and see what he can do with Dak, I think, hey, it's a better situation, obviously, because he after 16 years he had enough. He said, I gotta leave Nolan.
Yeah. I agree on that part. If the O-line, he got more pieces in Dallas. If he was to make that jump to Dallas, he do have more to work with than just the defense that was carrying it. And probably had the Rams took care of business in Week 18 against the Niners, the Saints probably would have made it to the playoffs. Guaranteed.
They limped in there.
They would have limped in. Yeah.
That's true.
So we just had, speaking of football, we had probably one of the best divisional rounds of football all weekend ever, probably in the history of the National Football League. Just what were your thoughts on the games right now, and as conference championship week is here, who do you have going to Super Bowl 56?
Oh, and I'm not saying it just because I'm on your show, but I think the Chiefs come out of the AFC. The Bengals and that's unofficially the official team of most of Kentucky. Most everybody's Bengals fans. Cincinnati is right there on the border of northern Kentucky. So a lot of people in Lexington, central Kentucky, even southeastern Kentucky where I'm from, love the Bengals and the Reds. That's kind of the pro city for Kentucky. Had a great run. They ended their drought against the Raiders, kept it going and knocked out the number 1 seed Titans. But it's, to me, like you said, you talked about the experience Kansas City has, the 4th title conference championship game at Arrowhead. Cincinnati just beat them a few weeks ago. Kansas City has not forgotten about that.
Right.
And so I'll be dog if they think, they're going to let Cincinnati come in and just beat them again. Okay, we lost Cincinnati. Now they're coming here with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. And, kind of NBA, the young teams you gotta take your lumps. Jordan couldn't never beat the Pistons. He didn't just waltz into the finals. He took his lumps against the Pistons. The Celtics and everybody's beating on each other until you finally break through and get in there. Kind of like Cincinnati. I don't see them just win your first playoff game in 30 years and go all the way to the Super Bowl. I think this run ends in the title game. There'll be a threat for years to come. They got to address the offensive line too. Joe Burrow ain't going to make it. But I think they go up against the experienced team that's been there. Kansas City is going to be too much for them. And as a Cowboys fan, I can't stand the Niners. So just like you hate the Niners, you hate the Packers. So I was glad to see the Packers out. Now I just want to see the Niners out. I know they got the Rams number, but surely to goodness, that's got to change eventually.
Right.
6 in a row. Niners beat them to get in the playoffs.
Right.
And now it's a rematch again. On the flip side, you in Kansas City again, you know what it's like when a team has to fight and claw to even get in. We saw your Royals win a World Series when they barely even made the playoffs, but they've been fighting and clawing, and so they play a team that's been resting and, kind of chilling. Mm-hmm. We in fight survival mode. I mean, we've been this way. So the Niners are in fight mode, survive mode, life or death mode, and they know they can beat the Rams. They ain't lost to them in 4 years. So, but I'm a hope for a Rams Chiefs Super Bowl. That's what I'm picking.
Whew. You gave us a lot right there.
My bad. I need to tighten these answers up, man. My fault.
No. And that's excellent because, how I looked at it was definitely, Chiefs at the house is at Arrowhead. But the other 3 teams who were in the playoffs, you had the Titans, we had the Bengals, and we had the Bills. The Titans and the Bills, when we were struggling at the beginning, because we played them at the beginning of the year, and we struggled against those teams in the beginning of the year. That Cincinnati loss, we was up 28-17 at the half, and let them come from and let Cincinnati come back in that game. And then the execution with the clock, some of those penalties were terrible calls at the end of the game. But then it was the advantage of Zach Taylor to keep away with the ball. If you remember, after the 2-minute warning, they was first and goal. And so Joe Mixon would get the ball, sit down, not score. Joe Burrow get the ball, not score, and made us, because I think we had run out of all of our timeouts. so by the time and that's when they hit the game winner. Cincinnati won a lot of their games with the kicker. That kicker positioned them to win a lot of games and probably could have beat the Packers had he not missed one of those kicks in the game. But coming to Kansas City, I told you this off air, the key for us is the health of Tyrann Mathieu. Mm-hmm. If Tyrann Mathieu is playing, I think we'll kick the butt at Arrowhead. If Tyrann Mathieu is not playing, we're going to have some concerns. It'll be close. It'll be a close game, but just know Jamar Chase is going to get his shine on. Mm-hmm. Now, we have the perfect scheme for Steve Spagnuolo to blitz. If you saw how many times Burrow got knocked down, we got the addition of Ingram and Chris Jones, who was not healthy at the beginning of the season. Those two playing, it's gonna be they gonna light him up like the 4th of July. there was
backfield all day.
Let me give you a history lesson right quick. So I think the record of sacks in one game is 10 by one guy named Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas lit up John Elway. I think it was 1990. Broncos came to Arrowhead, and Derek Thomas had John Elway's number all day.
That's a bad man.
That was a bad man. I think with the type of scheme that Steve Spagnuolo has, and if Tyrann Mathieu playing, that's gonna be rap. Now that go ahead.
One more quick thing on the Niners too is as much as we clown Jimmy G, he's already played in the Super Bowl.
Yes, he has.
He lost to your Chiefs.
Yes,
I mean, the Niners try to keep the ball out of his hands and not give him too much and rely on that running game and quick passing game, get the ball to Debo and you get out the way. This dude is going into this NFC Championship game and he's been there, done that. This Matthew Stafford's first playoff run, period.
Right. That's
So,
yeah. You gotta look at that. Yeah.
A lot is going San Francisco's way. They got a lot of things stacking in their favor, but I'm just going with my heart. I'm pulling for the Rams.
Rams, yeah. Yeah. The NFC, I think the matchup that might be better for us. Rams, but I think the 49ers would be a little bit better matchup because of the quarterback situation and the receivers. Odell is a bad man, but that Cooper Kupp is something else.
Mm-hmm.
Van Jefferson has rose to the occasion. I know Woods is out, but when Woods was playing, they was rolling when they had Woods.
Yeah.
And then, picking up Von Miller, and we dealt with Von Miller twice a year. Von Miller was something else in Denver. And you got Ramsey. Niners, they got hot after Odell. After the Rams picked up Odell and Von Miller. You remember they played on that Monday night and blew the brakes off the Rams, and they went 7-2. And the only two losses was to Tennessee and Seattle, and they were both by 7 points. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy G is a winner. Wherever Jimmy goes, pretty much he's like 35 and something, like a crazy stat where he is a winner. And you got to give credit to where credit is due. Sean McVay is a master when it comes to offensive scheming. Both. Well, Sean McVay for the Rams, but Kyle Shanahan,
mm-hmm.
and has pretty much taken, because the other guy, the backup quarterback, who's the other boy that they drafted for the Niners? I can't think of his name right now.
Was it Trey Lance?
Trey Lance. He was trying to find ways to kind of take the ball out, take the pressure off. And Debo's game has gone to a different level. Debo Samuel, Kittles, Brandon Ayuk, the boy Juwan Jennings. They've kept Sanu on the inactive and kept Jennings in the game. I think they're going to score more than 13 points. For you over the weekend to score 13 points and get all your points on special teams is a rarity.
Yes.
You had a block kick, a block field goal, a block punt for a touchdown, and 2 field goals. And you won just with special teams and good defense, and kept Aaron Rodgers out and had Aaron Rodgers in the end zone one time. Either the Niners are for real, or the Packers were counterfeit. So, one of the two happened. Yeah. But if I was to go with Super Bowl wise with these two teams from the NFC. If we see the Niners, man, the Niners are gonna smell blood. They like, we remember what you did to us in Miami.
Right.
But I don't want to see another home team hosting the Super Bowl like this, and we playing up against them, the Rams. So I'm gonna have to go with the Niners, man. Just because they've been rolling, and it's so hard to win 3 times in a row in the league. It's hard to win twice, but 3 times. But they just hot and know them buttons. The Niners do. So,
and they don't panic.
They don't panic. They're like, okay, Kyle, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
We in Green Bay, Jimmy, throwing interceptions, and our offense is doing nothing. It's snowing, and it's 10-3, and it's getting to the nitty gritty, and we just make a play.
Right.
Teams made a play, and then the defense after that first drive. Aaron Rodgers, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. 3 points, that's it. You at home. That's what you want. That's what when he lost to the 49ers a few years ago, we got to get one of these at home. We got to get one of these title games. Well, you was at home, and it still didn't matter.
Yeah.
Still took an L.
Right. Speaking of that, man, I want to hit on Antonio Brown, man. I haven't watched the I Am Athlete video, but I've watched some of the highlights, and he's commented and said that he wants to play. Antonio Brown wants to play with Baltimore after the incident that took place in Tampa. Do you think he has a chance to go to Baltimore, or would any other team give him a chance in the league, or is Antonio Brown's career over?
Man, you I guess, I mean, never say never to nothing, but Pittsburgh, Oakland, New England, Tampa.
We forget about New England and how he
mean,
could have kept his mouth shut and got $10 million. But he opened his mouth and Belichick and Kraft said, bye.
So, yeah. So to me, it looks like the bridges have all been nuked. To me, you think everybody else around the league was kind of like, I'll pass. But it only takes one. I mean, I don't know who, would somebody just get it to try to sell tickets? Somebody think it work? It's just, I mean, nothing is surprises us anymore. But but to me, I think he's trying his best to just napalm every bridge he crosses, man. He's just nuking every bridge. It seems to me. Man was about to get some more money here in Tampa. Stay and catch another couple catches, another few yards.
Right.
And so,
yeah. I'm like, and then people forget about the vaccination card issue, where he was suspended 3 games. So my thing is, how you gonna be upset about your bonus when I can understand the injury part, because that's part of the game, injuries, but you lied about your vaccination, and that was a federal offense. For lying about it. So now you care about a bonus, but you didn't tell the truth about the vaccination. That's my problem with it. This NFL crazy. If they're trying to sell tickets, we took a chance on Josh Gordon.
Yeah, that's another one.
And we took a chance on him. So I don't know, man.
Football, ultimate team sport. Everybody's talking about accountability, and maybe you need to be a little bit more accountable. I mean, that's just a little bit.
Yeah. We're gonna switch gears, Vinny. We gotta go to the. I know you're the expert when talking basketball, and I live in the state of Kansas. You live in Kentucky, and we had this in our chat with BS3, our BS3 group, and a thing came to my mind about blue bloods. Because this talk of blue bloods, this is a blue blood, that's a blue blood. What is your definition of a blue blood? And I like what you put, man. Can you explain who is a blue blood? Who you consider the blue bloods? Are there tiers to these? Are there levels to these blue bloods? What is blue bloods?
To me, I think it was this sun messing up I got this sun kind of hit me.
Yeah.
Move back a little bit, maybe there.
Okay, I can see you a lot better.
My fault. I just read it's popping right through this window. But to me, the blue blood is you got tradition, success, and you sustain it, for decades. Where you just been around and everybody knows you're good, and it's just kind of that's just how it is. That's how it always has been. That's what these programs have done. And it's only a few. I sent a list, or if somebody put, number of weeks in the AP poll.
Yeah.
But Kentucky has been around. And it's to me, it even means more if you've done it with more than one coach. Because we got to see what Duke's going to do when K leaves. What's Syracuse going to do when Boeheim leaves? Now, they've been up there, but it's just been one dude doing that for 40 years.
Right.
UConn kind of fell off after Calhoun left. Kevin Ollie got one, but they're not really in the mix like they used to be. So Kentucky, we have Rupp. Kentucky's won 8 national championships with 5 different coaches. Rupp won 4, and Joe Hall wins 1. Rick Pitino wins 1. Tubby Smith wins 1. Coach Cowles won 1. And Joe Hall came behind Adolph Rupp. He just passed away last Saturday before last. And from Kentucky, pressure, he integrated, brought Kentucky into the modern era as far as integrating them, because they're a little slow to do that before him. He hired Leonard Hamilton as his top assistant, who's Florida State's coach now. to continue bringing African American players. If it goes sideways with Joe B and he doesn't win a title, doesn't get to multiple Final Fours, Kentucky might not be the Kentucky we know. I mean, it was a fork in the road where you follow this legend and maintain, or you could kind of fall into oblivion. Like Indiana, they're still considered the blue blood, but what have they done since Bobby Nice left? You know, they
come on, bro. Yeah.
They're on the list. They still got a lot of appearances in the AP poll and all that, but you know, their last title, 1987, I was 9 years old when they was, you know what I'm saying? So Kentucky has sustained it. North Carolina's been there, you know. Dean Smith, Roy Williams has won titles. Kansas has sustained it. You know, Larry Brown won in '88, Bill Self won in '08. And then back in with Wilt, you know, they've been a power for decades. So those to me are in the three. UCLA gets in there, and you can't knock the fact that they have 11. Right. And they won 10 in a row. Nobody did that. Nobody could mess with Wooden. And look, you know, they got Alcindor and Walton back to back, and they had other good players, but that was the core to that dynasty from, you know, the 60s and the 70s, but they haven't done anything since. They won 1 in 95. But they kind of just hold it on. I mean, nobody's won 10 in a row. Don't knock it. But as far as sustaining it and spreading it out like everybody else, they haven't. But they're still in the mix for what they did. But I still put Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina even a little bit more than them, even though UCLA got more titles than everybody else.
Man, you just brought up a good point. And you really just broke down the history of sustainability because we try to put Duke in that tier, but they've only done it with only one coach.
Yeah, Coach K.
Coach K. You look at Indiana, they did it with one coach, Bobby Knight. You look at UCLA, they won their titles with they won 10 with Wood and one in 95.
Yeah, Jim Herrick got one.
Jim Herrick, yeah. I know in that chat we said Michigan State. It pretty much has been it's been the Izzo show mostly, and then you know you had the year with Irvin Magic.
Judd Heathcote got one. Yeah,
thank you. Boeheim got one. So really, if we probably need to put this into tiers, Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky is really should be like the creme de la creme. And then you put like Duke, your Michigan States in there, your UCLA, your Indiana, your Syracuse, and then we might need to have the conversation about putting Gonzaga in there next. Gonzaga and Villanova, because Gonzaga has done it with one coach, with pretty much Mark Few, but to be in the AP this consistently, especially like the last 7 or 8 years, to be in the top 10, they need to probably be in that tier two, almost tier 3.
Yeah,
what you think of Gonzaga?
I'll give them a title of being a power or powerhouse.
Let's talk about powerhouse. Hold on.
They haven't won a title yet.
Okay.
You know, they got there and got ran. Was it Baylor got them last year?
Yeah, Baylor smoked them. So,
you know, I don't know if I can call you a blue blood if you don't have one. I mean, what he's done is remarkable because, you know, 20 years ago, nobody knew who Gonzaga was. And, you know, for those old enough, John Stockton was the only thing people knew about Gonzaga. That's it.
That's it, yeah.
You got to give him credit. And this, everywhere I move, his son keep getting him out.
Yeah, I see that.
It's probably better that y'all can't see me. The viewers will be like, yeah, keep the sun in his face. We don't want to see. But, yeah, Gonzaga hasn't won a title. And think about this, now with Syracuse, they got the one in 03 with Melo. Jim Boeheim been there 45 years. And it didn't happen, if Keith Smart misses that jumper, Boeheim has 2. Everybody looks at him completely different.
Yeah.
He takes one from Bobby Knight. People look at him a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just because of that one little baseline jumper.
Right.
Because you give Boeheim his props for longevity, and they're a good team pretty much every year. He finally got his title, and that was good for him. But I'm not trying to be rude, but Coach Cal has done in 10 years what Boeheim is. Coach Cal's 10 years at Kentucky is the same as Boeheim's 40 plus at Syracuse. And probably more Final Fours. Cal's been to more Final Fours than Boeheim.
Right.
Syracuse went 96. Well, they lost to Kentucky in the title.
They lost to Patino. Yeah. They won. They're not gonna count it, but I count it. Memphis, when he took Derrick Rose and that particular team to the Final Four.
Right. But his 10 at Kentucky is every bit as holds as much weight as what Boeheim's done at Syracuse. I don't mean throw shade, but that's just kind of the way I look at it. It is what it is, Jim.
It is what it is, yeah. So I like when you said powerhouse, because we need to level this as blue bloods, the creme de la creme, the powerhouses, and then we need the up and coming. So your up and coming would be like your mid majors. Shucks. I said I was gonna say Wichita, but that's probably my favorite team, Wichita State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a wee shot person.
Okay.
Up and coming, maybe Creighton. Dana Altman, had that program going. Now McDermott is the coach, and they're consistently. So I would say up and coming with them.
Mm-hmm. I gotta look. They're the rival. But I'd be remiss not to say Louisville, because they won in 80 and 86 with Denny Crum. Right. And then Patino, the banner got taken down, but they won in 2013.
We know about
So Denny Crum was there from, I think, 72 to 99 from some 7. And of course, Louisville's having a lot of issues right now. But that's 3 titles with 2 coaches, so they get in the blue blood tier as well. I believe they're not up and comer because they've been around for a long time. They're not like Kentucky, Carolina, Kansas, but they're still in the blue blood league.
Okay, so we should say So let's rework this. So we got tier 1, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky. And I love I love the connection of those 3 schools. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Tier 2, Louisville, Indiana, Syracuse, UCLA, Michigan State. I'm missing somebody we just talked about. Shucks. I got those, at least those 5. And then your powerhouse teams would be like a Gonzaga, a Baylor. I'm not ready to put Baylor into that blue blood conversation yet. Baylor,
Villanova, because they got 3 now because they won in 85, and then Jay Wright got 2.
2, yeah. So they be blue blood. They be tier 2 blue blood.
Yeah, I can give them that. I can give them that.
Okay, yeah. So that's so. And what's crazy about, and I was trying to. I'm a historian when it comes to sports and connecting people and coaches and reading about it. Like, I love the story about Leonard Hamilton, how he was the first Black assistant at Kentucky to bring Black players in, and I didn't even, and just the connection between him, Coach Hall, Eddie Sutton, Henry Iber, all goes back to Kansas. Like, I didn't realize Rupp came from Kansas. Yeah. I didn't realize I knew Dean Smith and Bill Guthridge came from Kansas, but I didn't realize the connection with like Henry Iber, who coached at Oklahoma State, Eddie Sutton, all that connects back to the founding of basketball in Kansas. So for Kansas Jayhawks not to be number 1, a powerhouse and a blue blood, and you the founder of basketball, we got problems.
That's right. Yeah, because Naismith straight to Fog Allen, right?
Yeah, it was Naismith, then Fog. Yeah.
Yeah, and then everything kind of sprouted from there as far as Rupp and everybody kind of branched out of Kansas on to wherever they went. Yeah.
Right. And and it just blew my mind. I said, and then I saw Iba. I said, wait a minute. Iba, because Coach Sutton, I was reading about Sutton. He had an option to go to KU, if I'm not mistaken. But Iba came at the last minute, and something happened where he I don't know if it was the scholarship got revoked by Allen, and then he that's when he ended up at Oklahoma State. I can't remember the whole story, but Sutton ended up going play under Iba and learn from him, and then to go to Kentucky, and then that field, and then North Carolina, all of that tradition with like Dean Smith and George Karl and Larry Brown and Roy Williams, all that intertwining of stuff, man. And then Pitino. Actually, like the first time I started watching like Kentucky basketball was when Pitino won in '96. And I became a huge Kentucky Wildcat fan. I was already, when I was younger, a Jayhawk fan because I liked Jock Vaughn at the point guard. They had Rafe. That's when Roy was the coach. That's the year before they really should have won it in '97. But they got and that was heartbreaking for me as a child, losing to Arizona in the Sweet 16. But when they had Jock and I think Rafe was LaFrance. I think LaFrance was like a sophomore. They had Scott Pollard. Paul Pierce was a freshman at that time. Like, that team was stacked. But y'all, '96 team, y'all had Mercer and y'all had Wayne Turner, who was a starter like all 4 of his years. Scott Padgett, I think Padgett was on the team.
Padgett was on that one. Tony Delk.
Tony Delk with Antoine Walker.
Yeah, Walker. Walter McCarty,
all them boys, yeah.
Mark Pope, who's coaching BYU now, was a center on that team. Anthony Epps, Jeff Shepard, it was, and some of those guys was there on the '98 team too. But yeah, it was '96 and '97 was, that was kind of heartbreaking for them to lose to Arizona. And Arizona is on this list, but I don't really give them blue blood status. They won one title with Lute Olson, and they haven't really done anything since he retired. The
powerhouse. They powerhouse.
Yeah.
Powerhouse.
They've been good, had good teams, make some runs in the tournament, and they've been around. They got tradition, but they haven't worked their way up to the like the other teams we're talking about. You talk about Larry Brown. I guess the last time Kansas came to Lexington, I think, because every couple of years they play in this, SEC Big 12. I want to think it was 2017. Kansas came to Rupp and they won.
Yeah,
and, I got to cover that game, and so I left my seat there where the media was, and I was just down, just off the bench to the tunnel, right where the team goes to the tunnel, and just look over, and there's Larry Brown sitting there. I'm like,
come on.
Holy crap, that Larry Brown. So, you try to keep yourself together. You try to get it cool, even though you freak. Oh. So I just spoke to him, asked him how you doing. Hey, how you doing, coach? And he said, I'm doing fine. And he's talking about, I'm torn when I'm watching this because I love both of these guys. I love Bill Self. Cal was an assistant of mine. I love both of these guys. So I'm watching this, but I'm kind of torn. So I ain't bothering him. I wasn't trying to just like talk him to death. But it was cool just chatting it up real quick for a little second with Larry Brown.
Yeah. And that's I forgot to say, because Calipari started his coaching career at KU. Like, that's like, when I learned that, I said, man, bro, it's stuff. When and then they see on your resume, oh, you started at Kansas, or Kentucky. You sat under D. Larry Brown,
so twice. Then was with him with the Sixers too.
Yeah.
I think after he got fired by the Nets.
Yeah.
He went and worked for him with Philly.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was an assistant with him in Philadelphia. So he was talking about that. As a matter of fact, yesterday on his call-in show, I think a caller called in and just asked him, because before Cal got there, I knew who Joby Hall was. He was the first coach at Kentucky that I remember as a 6, 7, 8-year-old. 84, they went to the Final Four against Georgetown, which that's another team that's kind of started off because on this list and then faded after John Thompson.
Goodness.
But they lost to Georgetown in the Final Four, and that's kind of the first one of my vaguest memories of Kentucky basketball. Kind of some of those players, and then the next year I think he stepped down. So he was still living in Kentucky, still kind of around, but Pitino didn't really bring him, embrace him like that.
Wow.
Cal went out of his way to bring him back in, to have him at practice, to have him at the games, to have him as a part of everything. A lot of people, the older people, kind of think, Pitino came in, they were on probation. He was kind of trying to turn the program around. And I guess in his mind, a lot of stuff from the past was just kind of, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it alone. So he kind of put a wall up. I'm here to get this thing right. And so I can get that. You don't understand, I guess, from his point of view, why he was kind of like that. But Cal went out of his way to bring Joe B in and have him around at shoot-arounds and all this for, Cal's been here 13 years, for 10 or 11 years, for the past couple of years when Coach Hall's health really started to decline. But a caller called into the call-in show last night and said, tell us about, you going out of your way to embrace Joe B. Why did you do that? You really made him a part of it. We appreciate it. Just speak to it if you want to as to what, was your motivation or your reasoning for that. And he point blank said, this goes straight back to Larry Brown. He said, I was trying to soak up everything I could from Larry Brown. And he said, the way I saw Larry Brown treat older coaches, every time I was around him, a retired coach, he would bring him in. He would let that guy take over practice. He would let him talk to the team. He showed so much respect to older coaches just to make them still feel special. And he said, I saw that. And he said, I hope my assistants have tried to kind of see that with what I've been trying to do. I'm trying to pass that on. He said that he had talked to.
I think you from. Hello?
There we go.
There we go. All right. We in there now. Go ahead.
Wi-Fi struggle. But he said that he had called Larry Brown and wanted to tell him that the reason I did what I did with Coach Hall was because of the way I saw you treat other coaches, treat retired coaches, treat coaches who had been fired, try to reach out and support them. And he said Larry Brown was kind of like, when you give somebody a compliment, oh man, he said Larry was kind of like that. But I'm sure that meant a lot to him here having Cal say that, even though he was like, whatever, man, I ain't do nothing. He was trying to do that, but it was cool hearing Cal explain where he learned how to treat other coaches. He said, I've been fired. He said, I've been a fired coach. I've been through it. I got fired from the Nets, and Larry Brown reached out to me. He said, it's tough when you're a fired coach, when you don't have a job. So he said, it's even harder on your wife and kids. And he said, I know what that's like. And so for him to kind of do what Larry did to him and then welcoming Joe B. Hall and just showing those respect for older coaches, it was cool hearing him kind of go in detail and explain that. And it went. He gave all the credit to Larry Brown.
That's excellent, and that's really a conscious moment. I mean, because we talk about conscious moments on casual highlights, and it's about how you treat people. It's about soaking that wisdom, and one thing we can take from that is anything in life, not just basketball, but like wisdom about marriage, wisdom about finances, learning from about how to live over 100, over 75, over 80. We need those type of people to listen to, because they've been there, done that. Like I'm in my 30s, you in your 40s. So, and how to live longevity, man. I have to ask you what it's like to live in my 40s, and what it's like to live in the 40s. And I can take notes of what to do. You might go take somebody like who's in their 50s. Well, I plan to be here till I'm 50. So I need to take notes from somebody in their 50s. So just the people building relationship that Calipari is doing, and then his, even not just the coaches, but the players see that. That's powerful in itself. Like, hey, he's bringing Joe B. Hall into practice, and we're sitting there soaking this knowledge in from a legend who's coached legends from like 4 or 5 different generations, and seen stuff. Leonard Hamilton, that bringing him in, and listening and that type of stuff, and hearing the different stories. And I would love to be a fly on the wall just to hear the stories and the things that we don't see on TV. I think that stuff is awesome.
Leonard was on, which I'd seen the tweet and kind of knew, being from Kentucky, knew the connection. But Leonard was on with Jim Rome the other day, and I turned it on. I saw the tweet. I knew Jim was going to ask him about Joe B because I just had a feeling with him just passing away. And Leonard was talking about, I had gotten disenchanted with basketball. I was ready to kind of move on from basketball. He was at Austin Peay. And he had put in for a job, he said, at Dow Chemical Company in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was just going to go get a regular job. And that's when Joe B called him and said, hey, come on here and interview for this job at Kentucky. And you talk about a fork in the road moment. Look how different Leonard's life would have been if Joe B Hall doesn't call him. Joe B calls him. He comes and interviews, takes the Kentucky job. And now we've seen what he's done. He was right there for the 78 team when they won it all at Kentucky, went on to have his own successful head coaching career, all-time winningest coach at Florida State now. So, but he, gives all the credit, to Joe B. Hall reaching out and calling him when he was about to step on out of the coaching period.
And look, he recruited, Leonard Hamilton recruited Bill Self. Bill Self is from under the Leonard Hamilton tree.
Yeah.
And I saw that. And I said, boy, this stuff connects, bro. And you just be surprised. I'm like, wow, all this. Wait a minute.
You're right, man.
It just amazes me. But hey, we're gonna get you out of here on this question that I know Kansas is playing Kentucky in the SEC Big 12 Challenge this weekend. I feel like they play every year now. I feel like it's either the SEC Big 12 Challenge or they just playing in the Champions Classic. I know you all came off of a loss to Auburn on Saturday. The status of Auburn being a powerhouse is under review right now for the next several years. I said powerhouse. I didn't say blue blood. I said powerhouse. Because that's under review because of Bruce Pearl's past at Tennessee. But neither here nor there. Give me your thoughts on what's your expectations of this game between Kentucky and Kansas.
And as far as Auburn, we went in on them last week because they only been to 10 NCAA tournaments, so they come on now. They went when Barkley was there his years. Yeah. Chris Porter in '99, they got ranked top 5. You got this team. They made a Final Four in 2018 where they knocked Kentucky out. But that Auburn talent, they've been here for years, but that's definitely not the case.
Oh no!
So, a lot of this game Saturday is going to depend on Kentucky. They just got to get healthy. It's just been the injury bug right now. Mm-hmm. That's what's holding them back. We struggle on the road. They played at Notre Dame, got beat, and looked real shaky. Pre-conference schedule was real, generous. Played a lot of cupcakes, and coming off a 9-16 season last year, I can understand that. Just try to get them all on the same page. Had a lot of transfers coming in, but now that the competition has stepped up, each time on the road, they haven't been able to play a full game because you've having guys injured. So we haven't been able to see them for 40 minutes at full strength. Mm-hmm. At LSU, Severe Wheeler, got caught with a screen out midcourt. He picked the guy up full court, got popped with a screen and injured his neck, so he didn't play in the LSU game. Tata Washington cramped up. He didn't finish the LSU game. Kentucky has a 9-point lead at that time, but you lose your backcourt, and there goes your offense stagnates and it bogs down. You don't have any scoring. They end up losing to LSU. This Auburn game was kind of a carbon copy. Severe Wheeler got popped by a screen again, which they gotta holler out. They gotta communicate, let them know where these screens are coming from, or else everybody's just gonna keep setting back picked on him.
Yeah.
Tata Washington injured his ankle, and so Kentucky is again up double digits and looking good, and then your backcourt goes out. So, I mean, maybe Auburn still comes back and wins, but Kentucky was in control of the game. You look up, it's 17-7 right out the gate. It's 25-15, whatever it was. It still had a lead at halftime, but Kentucky just needs to get healthy. And if we can see them play a full 40 minutes, you kind of like what they got if they got all their pieces. Tata Washington is not playing tonight. They play Mississippi State at 9 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock your time, and then it's on to get ready for Kansas on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what everybody's status is going to be. If they're healthy, I kind of like their chances against anybody, but they just right now the injury bug is just kind of biting, and it hits everybody at different points in times, and they just kind of going through it right now with particularly in the backcourt. Both point guards getting hurt, and you can't really get a good gauge because they haven't been able to play a full game against a top flight team on the road. Each time you've had dudes going out.
I'm gonna say this about Kansas, and I've been preaching this. I've been telling this for years since Bill Self was there. If you want to beat a Kansas team on the road, and especially at Allen Fieldhouse, and you got to lead, you got to keep your neck on. You got to keep your foot on the neck, because historically, traditionally, however you want to say it, KU teams start out slow. So last Saturday when they went to K-State put like a 50 piece up on them in the first half. K-State historically is terrible under Bruce Weber offensively. Historically terrible.
Yeah.
And then they only scored 25 points in the second half. So and let Abaji get through the lane and score. And they won the game. And I said K-State has pooped their pants again against them. So historically, and this Kansas team, they haven't had this in a couple of years. They have good guard play. You have Brown, you have Remy Martin, the Arizona State transfer, coming off the bench and playing great ball. You have Abaji, the leading scorer, doing his thing. Lightfoot playing pretty good. So I could see us win this game because it's at the house. And then what you're saying with your injuries in the backcourt and the struggles that you're having. But if y'all come in, if Kentucky comes in here and plays and steps up and play, y'all better put your foot on their neck. Texas Tech found out last night about that.
Oh my God! Oh my man! They had them.
I'm like, you got the ball. Why are you shooting a jump shot? Drive to the hole and get fouled.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind. And that's why for 15 straight years, Kansas has won the Big 12, because people have not closed it out. Baylor has finally, I believe, has finally figured it out in the Big 12, but nobody else has figured it out. Iowa State, every blue moon figures it out. But if you can, when you play Kansas and you got a lead, it's like, I don't know if you remember the game Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis, and he in that mode where it's like, finish him.
Yeah.
And then if you don't even hit him or finish him, he gets a little bit of life back. And that's what you got to do with the Kansas Jayhawks. You got to finish them. If you got to put up 100 piece on them to finish them, you better put 100 up on them.
Yeah, because
so
Texas Tech just beat them a couple weeks ago down there, right?
Yeah, right.
I was ready to tweet out, Texas Tech sweeps Kansas, and nope. I just put my phone back down when he hit that shot that tied at 86. I'm like,
Traditionally, I can remember when KU played Memphis in the title game, and Memphis could not make any free throws. I'm looking, and I picked the Memphis. I said, look at this nonsense. How do you not make no free throws? And then Chalmers hit that shot. I said, well, that's it. That was momentum shift. That's a wrap. They're not winning this. Memphis not winning this ball game. Kansas will win this game. And that was what it was.
Yep.
That was a wrap. So I totally get it, man. But yeah, Vinny, tell us how we can tell us a little bit about your show and share with us your social media.
Oh, the show is at Cats Talk Wednesday. It's on Twitter at Cats Talk WED. I've been hosting it with Terry Brown going on 8 years now. And Kentucky, sports is the foundation. Kentucky football, basketball, baseball. That's kind of the nucleus of the show. Then we branch out and hit the NBA, the NFL, MLB, little music, little comedy. We've been fortunate to have a lot of cool guests come through. TB and I don't agree on anything except Kentucky because I'm a Cowboys fan. He's a Niners fan, so we've been going at it. I'm a Rockets fan. He's a Lakers fan, so we don't agree on anything except Kentucky. So we talk trash and go back and forth on everything else, and then Kentucky is kind of the centerpiece because he's from Louisville. He's from the big city. I'm from southeastern Kentucky, from the small town. So, but yeah, Kentucky is just kind of the centerpiece. We've had Kentucky players and coaches and different media types, and some music guests, some comedy guests, some foodie guests, and we have little random stuff. We try to have fun with it. Got to have you come through here too now. Got to get.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely be an honor to come on there, man, and chop it up with you. Definitely, you have educated us, informed us, inspired us, gave us a conscious moment as well. Vinny Hardy of Cats Talk Wednesday. Thank you for coming on being a part of Casual Highlights. I pray that everything with your show continues to go well, and you are blessed in everything that you do, sir.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, Al. Honored to be here. Appreciate you reaching out.
You bet. And until next time, guys, this is Al High signing off. You know what it is. God is love, and disrespect your senses.